Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the morning briefing here in beautiful Surfside, California. I hope you're having a great start to your day because it's absolutely beautiful down here. Look at those gorgeous waves rolling in, that flat, calm ocean, no wind at all. And I did something awful this morning. I left my cup of coffee back there at the house. How could I have done that? Well, with an imaginary cup of coffee in my hands, and the great old USA, this time only, just one time, you know what time it is. It's time for some great fishing, and it's time for the morning briefing. All right, that was pretty lame. I can't do that again. What's wrong with me? I've got to have my cup of coffee with you every single morning. I'm sorry I forgot today, but fishing is so crazy, and there's so much great stuff going on. I guess I just am losing my mind. Hey, don't forget, right now, you can tune in to our YouTube channel, as you have already, but you can watch a great podcast I did with Ricky Carbajal and Chris Isaac. Of course, Ricky ran the new Del Mar and several boats out of Marina del Rey for many, many, many years. He's a dear friend of mine, and now he is taking a boat, the El Patron, down to Puerto Vallarta to fish for giant yellowfin tuna, and you can join him. Find out more about this and find out about what a great place Puerto Vallarta is to visit when you watch our podcast that's available to you right now on YouTube. Hope you are going to enjoy that. And thanks again, everybody. We hit 1 million views, 5,000 subscribers, way less than 2 years. I couldn't be more grateful to each and every one of you. Please give us a like right now. Continue to share our videos and subscribe. It's free if you haven't done so already. Without you, we are zero. I know I owe that all to you and can't thank you enough. And a reminder that October 23rd, we'll be down at 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California from 8 in the morning until 12 noon. We'll have snacks for you. We'll have some great raffles. We'll have all kinds of guests that you can ask all kinds of fishing questions to. Desiree Rodriguez will be there. And also the plan is to have the El Patron dock down there, snacks, drinks on board, all free, and you can take a look at the boat yourself. Take a look at the boat that is going to head down to Puerto Vallarta. That should be great. All right, I want to say hello to Aaron over at Austin Hardwoods. My friends Bob Osborne and his son Robin were over there, and Aaron went out of his way to tell him that he was a big fan of Friedman Adventures. Aaron, really appreciate that. That is fantastic. Mark Gilbert caught his first Dorado yesterday. Congratulations, Mark. There's been a lot of that. And Tony Tran on board the Liberty. I want to send congratulations out to him with a 119-pound big bluefin tuna. He said it was great fishing with the group he was with on board the Liberty. All good stuff. All right, we got so much to cover with you. Let's jump into it, and let's pop you across the border down there to beautiful Ensenada, Baja California, about 60 miles south of the border, and let's check in with our friends at Bluefin. And man, the bite is outstanding. In fact, it's a little closer to Todos Santos Islands. Todos Santos Islands dominate the horizon there off Ensenada. Gorgeous islands and not that far at all. I think 12 miles, something like that. I could be wrong, but I believe it's like that. And then another 10 miles, and you're back into it. Dorado, yellowfin, bluefin, some marlin running around there, big bonita. And at Bluefin, they had another spectacular day yesterday. The offshore scene here as we move into October, push closer to Halloween and Dia de los Muertos. Man, it couldn't be any better. And of course, this is when we normally get our best weather months. There's been some breezy conditions from time to time, but overall, we're going to have really beautiful weather during this time of the year, and hopefully it's going to stay just like that. Great fishing, and once again, you have to be prepared for a really intense bite when they're really going crazy, and then you have to be prepared for big fish and then small fish. So what I'm telling you is you have to have a variety of tackle. So I'm talking 25-pound and a 40-pound. That'll get you covered, unless you're nighttime bluefin tuna fishing up here around San Clemente and Catalina Island, where you're going to need 100-pound and 200-pound leaders on those big SK Daiwa jigs, 200 to 500 grams, whatever the wind and current dictate you use. That's when you're going to need the heavy stuff. But you're fishing patties from the LA Orange County area all the way up into the Channel Islands. Most of the time, a 25 and a 40 will do you right. There is the possibility of stumbling across 200 plus pound bluefin. So if you have a heavy rod, bring it. but in most cases that's going to work really well for you. And 1/0 to 2/0 size hook with the size sardine we have for bait in Ensenada and in San Diego should work just fine for you. I'd bring some smaller hooks for that 25-pound, and I'll tell you right now, some of these kelps are biting full speed, some are not biting. And now, remember when it was an assured situation, you're going to go out and get limits of Dorado, 2 per rod in Mexico, 10 per rod up here? It's not anymore. It's a more hit and miss kind of situation. And some guys are pulling it off in the 9th inning with 2 outs. That's how it has been here recently. And then some guys look all day long, never find the kelp, and never get a jig strike or find a sonar mark of eager and biting tuna. So that's the way it is right now. Can it change? Of course it can. I mean, this is the craziest season we have ever seen. So who knows? You could see it get way better all of a sudden, or you could see it come to a screeching halt into an end. So my admonition is you get out there and start making things happen on board the Voyager. We had a couple of kids out there, Ethan and Michael. Of course, their dad, Isaac, or I should say Ethan's dad, Isaac, and Michael's grandpa, Dan. I've seen both those guys at our Bass Pro Shop events, and they're really delightful people. And I'm so happy as you're watching these guys pull on fish and catch Dorado on board the Voyager that they had such a great time. And incidentally, both those kids are going to join us on our Dana Wharf free fishing trip for kids. I think we still have 4 spots open on that. If you want to get on there, send your kids out with us from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. And then you pick them up. Just send me a text at 657-227-6459. Go with these boys. They know what they're doing. They know how to have fun on the water, and they're bonding with dad and grandpa. I mean, they have fishing buddies for life, and they know that very well. Voyager was one of those boats that, man, they're pulling their hair out. Are we going to find a kelp that wants to bite? We're finding kelps, they're dry. There's no fish that want to bite. And then wham, that magic kelp manifested itself, and they ended up with limits on the Dorado. Nothing wrong with that. Grande yesterday, 36 guys with a yellowfin, 64 Dorado. Nothing wrong with that. The iron working very well on much of this tuna. So Dawas Akanas are one that you definitely want to have with you. Something with chrome in it, tatty jigs that are a little heavier, working really, really well. Also, chrome for the yellowfin tuna, they bite at full speed. And in terms of the grade of fish, Dorado, I'm going to call it a 10-pound average. They're growing up. They grow fast, and they've been around for a while. So there's a lot of nice 10, 12-pounders, some 8-pounders, some 25, 30. Had that 53-pounder the other day. There's a lot of gorgeous fish around. Yellowfin tuna from 5 to 60 pounds. Sometimes you run into that 5 to 10-pound stuff. Other times you run into straight 25 to 60-pound YFT. Gorgeous grade of yellowfin. And the bluefin anywhere from, I guess we could say 20 to 200 plus pounds, depending upon where you find yourself. Most of that big fish at night. But man, that variety is really something to marvel at. Pacifica, 2.5 day trip, 46 bluefin, 5 yellowfin tuna. Ranger, 85 on a day and a half trip. Nice hit, 64 Dorado, 154 on the yellowfin tuna. Oceanside, 95 on a 2.5 day with limits of Dorado, 13 yellowfin, 1 bluefin, and 4 yellowtail. So nothing wrong with those kinds of scores, but they're mixed and there's guys that are missing. I want you to realize that. Not because I'm trying to tell you the bite's terrible. It's just not the kind of bite where everybody's getting them anymore. And as I say, that could change today. So we'll keep our eyes on it. Now, LA Orange County based boats, and we'll mix in some more San Diego scores, are still finding Dorado. Now, overall, Dana Wharf has been all over the fish. Had a little bit tougher day yesterday. Same thing up here. It's way more hit and miss up here in the LA Orange County area. There's a lot of 68 degree water. You need to find that 70 plus, like 73 degree water to find the flatheads, and that's where that Dorado bite has been best of all. Pursuit with 25 Dorado yesterday and 11 yellowfin tuna. That's a darn good score for a boat leaving out of San Pedro, 22nd Street landing in the morning and returning at night. I don't know how you can get a better hit than that. Mission Bell yesterday struggled out of Point Loma sport fishing. They've had great fishing lately, but 6 Dorado, 4 yellowfin tuna yesterday, so we do have those kind of scores. And then you have this nighttime bite, and that's where you get fish in the 25-pound class, 50-pound class, 200-plus pound class, so don't fish that with anything but the really heavy stuff. Daiwa 2-speed reels are going to be your best friend in that kind of a bite. Nighttime fish seem to be landed much easier. They seem to be disoriented or something. So you can literally catch a 50-pounder in 5 minutes. Not all the time, but it's not out of the question, out of the ordinary at all. And those big 200-pounders, sometimes a half hour on those big times, sometimes longer than that. What a score on the new low-end 3-day trip, 123 on the bluefin tuna. That is some darn good fishing. The Apollo 11 guys on a 3-day trip, 65 yellowfin, 30 Dorado, 16 bluefin, 36 on the yellowtail. Western Pride up here in this neck of the woods, nice hit yesterday with 30 guys catching 61 Dorado and 4 yellowfin tuna. And on board the Gale Force, well, they just kind of scratched at it. They had 8 Dorado and a yellowfin, but they did hook a marlin and got most everybody on board an opportunity, a chance to pull on a Southern California marlin, which is a great experience, a unique experience, especially when you're on a sport boat. That's something you can tell your grandkids about the great year in 2022. So the common denominator here, what I want to express to you all is that it's not slam dunk for everybody, but there are still some excellent opportunities at some great kelps, and you just have to keep your eyes open. I mean, the Enterprise 2 days ago had 122 on the Dorado, something like that. Yesterday, they had 8. That pretty much summarizes what's going on right now. Hit and miss. Got to find that lucky kelp. When you find a kelp that's not biting that well, you go to the light line, get a hot bait, and work hard. Change that bait regularly. It's the only way you're going to get a bite is by choosing good hot baits, lowering your fluorocarbon, www.opsonusa.com. Put in FA at checkout for a free gift and a note from Greg Brown. And I'll tell you right now, that is how you are going to elevate yourself over all the other anglers on board, by working hard and reading the situation. Is it an intense bite? Go to the heavy. Is it really finicky? Go to the light. Are they all big fish? Man, I gotta go to the heavy. It's going to be harder to get a bite, but I'm going to do it by changing my bait regularly and finding good hot baits. That is all factored in to your success, and in time it will become second nature. I guarantee you that. All right, a little bit more, and then we're going to cover islands and everything else. October the 23rd, we're going to have a lot of raffles, fundraising down there. We've got a lot of stuff to move down into Mexico, and that costs a lot of money to do it, to ship it, to get it all down there. So we're going to need your help with that. In fact, we need more funds at this point in time than we need more clothing. We have so much that it's ridiculous. I'm going to have to go down there and assess it all and see how we're going to move it all down. And we're probably going to be doing multiple venues this year. We're probably going to do Cedros Island, Tijuana, Tecate, maybe Rosarito. We'll figure that all out as we go along. So keep that in mind, and we'll continue to keep you abreast of all of that. But the 23rd, down there at 22nd Street, October 8 to 12. That's going to be a lot of fun. All right, down across the border, Todos Santos Island, some really good yellowtail action, Big Bonita. Coronado Islands continue to crank out great numbers of yellowtail on the yo-yo iron and dropper looping. Fantastic for the boats that are there. 20 to close to 100 yellows, not out of the ordinary. There at San Clemente Island, still quite a bit of fish in the shallow water. That 50 feet of water, that kind of thing. That means heavy line and trying to put the brakes on those things, because they know where that kelp and those rocks and all of that stuff is and are. So you're going to have to be very, very careful. And again, change your bait, fly line. That's been the way there. Catalina, kind of hit and miss, mostly miss. A little bit of bonita, bass, a few yellowtail running around the island. I'm surprised that we don't have better yellow action going on there. Maybe as we move a little bit deeper into the fall, that will turn on. And then Santa Barbara Island, Jeff Yeomans, my good buddy, was over there giving it a look. He said it was tough, man. Big fish. They stopped 2 of 10, and they were tough, man, in that shallow water, running you into that structure. They did everything they could to hang on to them, and sometimes you can work as hard as you want and can, and you still can't get the brakes on them. So Jeff had a lot of fun up there fishing out of Marina del Rey, and once again, always good to hear from him. Channel Island area, some really good rockfish up there, a little bit of calico bass, not much, and also we continue to see the occasional little flurry of white sea bass and a couple of halibut up there. The Aloha Spirit yesterday had all of that kind of stuff except for the sea bass. He had a nice hit on the rockfish, few calico bass, and went 0 for 3 on the bluefin tuna up there. There's still bluefin lurking in the Channel Islands. Don't write that off by any stretch of the imagination. It is still all there. And then along the coast down there in Ensenada, good calico fishing along the rugged Baja coast. Calicos mostly shorts, some big bonita, and occasional shot at yellowtail for the local boats out of San Diego, Dana Wharf, Oceanside. Those guys, they've got Dorado real close to their back door there. Sometimes they miss, like yesterday there was some misses, but sometimes they get them. And then along the beach there, picking off some calico bass and sheepshead whitefish. Up there here in San Pedro, Long Beach, rockfish, sculpin, a few bonita. There's a lot of bonita seem to be bouncing around the local scene. Redondo, Marina del Rey, better bass fishing up there, rockfish, and Cody on the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing continues to catch whitefish and sheepshead. Good rockfish, providing excellent table fare for their clients. That is for sure. 805-676-3474. Ventura Sport Fishing. In the region right here, man, you just look at that right now. Just look at that, will you? Marvel at it with me. My God, you toss a sand crab right beyond that wave right there, where that other wave is breaking way, way, way inside of that, because Corvina are right up here on the beach. They are so much fun to catch. They fight hard, natural bait, light line. You can stop by Big Fish Bait and Tackle on Seal Beach, pick up your bait. It's always a great way to make it happen. All right, folks, we got a great live show tonight. You are going to love it. We've got James Mosier from Newport Landing. James just spent the last 10 days fishing in restricted rockfish areas with scientists aboard. And he comes and shares his observations with us, and we try to decide from what we can ascertain from James what it is that will happen to our rockfish fishery. We'll try to find that out as we move along. So James is going to share that, and of course we'll talk the local hot bite, bluefin tuna, Dorado, and all that stuff going on here in SoCal and northern Baja California. We'll have more on our October 23rd celebration, and we will of course be doing some trivia questions for some great gifts. That's all tonight on Friedman Adventures Live, 6 p.m. We'll be on the air at 6 p.m. Can't wait to join you with another great show. Don't forget to go watch the great podcast that's up right now about big yellowfin, giant yellowfin in Puerto Vallarta on the El Patron. Once again, everybody, 1 million views. Never believed it was possible. Can't thank you enough. Less than 2 years, 5,000 subscribers, and we are on this incline, the projection that is mind-boggling, and we owe that all to you. All right, I'm going to go get my cup of coffee because I'm getting so old I forgot to bring it. It's so important to the morning briefing. What's wrong with me? Tomorrow, I will have my USA coffee cup and toast you all. In the meantime, have a great day. We'll see you soon. Tonight, 6 p.m., Friedman Adventures Live. Thanks for joining me.